What is up, you guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. So, couple things. One, I apologize if it's echoey in here. I'm in my office and it's glass office, so it's not like there's tons of stuff to absorb all the noise. I'm working on how to fix that problem. And the lighting. It's a super cloudy day, but I've got my ring light right here. Hopefully that's enough. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if it's not. But today's video, I'm so excited. It's gonna be a relaxed, fun DIY on how to make homemade potpourri. I'm gonna pop up a video right here of what the finished product looks like. So if homemade potpourri sounds like something you're into, let's get into it. Okay, so really quickly, let's just go over everything you're gonna need if you wanna make your potpourri look exactly like mine. So first up, we have two different types of jars. You are going to need some type of jar that has a tight seal on the top, because once we're done making this, it's going to have to sit for a week or two. The longer you let it sit, the better it's gonna smell. So I've got two different types of jars. I'm still not sure which one I'm going to decide on. Probably this one, because I'm gonna wanna tie a ribbon to it. So you gotta have your jars that you wanna use to put your potpourri in. Speaking of ribbon, I've got a few different types of ribbons here. So I've got these thinner ones. Obviously this is a Halloween one. This is more fall based, and then a little bit of a thicker one. Still not sure which one I'm gonna use yet. Then we've got glitter. So to actually glitterify the potpourri, I wanted to have a bunch of different options. So glitter. Then I've got these beads. Really, you can throw in anything you want to into the potpourri that you think is gonna look pretty. So I've got these beads here. These are just craft beads, just like the ribbon and glitter all came from AC Moore or Michaels. You could probably even find it on Amazon. But I think I'm gonna cut these beads just individual and kind of sprinkle them through the potpourri to just give it a little sparkle. Same thing with these gems. So these are just basic acrylic gems. You can find these at any dollar store probably in any color. I got mine in a nice bright red. And then Twinkle Lights. So I've got a brand new pack of Twinkle Lights here. I am going to put this inside the jar. I want it to have a nice twinkly light effect at night, and the remote that comes with it. Then the most important part is your flowers and your filler. So I've got weeks worth of dried roses here. I've been collecting because I didn't want to just chop all of my roses at once. They mean so much to me. But I've been collecting rose buds for weeks now and letting them dry out. So I've got some full rose buds here, and I've left even the leaves on this one's because leaving the leaves and actual full buds is gonna give the potpourri some greenery and just a prettier look. I've got a different type of rose here, a tea rose right here because the white tea rose is gonna smell better. I've got tons of lavender, roses Sharon from my girlfriend's house, and I've got some ethically sourced white sage because that's gonna give it a nice scent. And most importantly, essential oils. So you can use any scent you want to use for your potpourri. There are tons of different ways to make potpourri, so it's really just personal preference. I personally like a much more sweet, natural scented potpourri or scent in my home. I don't like spicy, so the typical cinnamon or very spicy scented potpourri isn't my vibe. But if it is, you can use stuff like cinnamon sticks or orange peels, just slice the outside of the orange peel. But I'm gonna use my natural roses, my natural lavender, sage. I'm going to use lavender essential oil and rose essential oil. So that's gonna make it smell really sweet. But again, you can make it smell like anything you want, and you can put anything you want inside of it. Anything that you think is gonna look good is gonna look good. So now that we've gone over everything you're gonna need, let's get into how we do it. Okay, so I've been collecting these roses for weeks now because I didn't want to cut them all at once. So once you've cut everything you want to use and you set it out on a paper towel just like this for about a week or so, even less, the flowers will dry out very quickly if you individually pick them and spread them out on a paper towel. Like I said, even just a few days, less than a week, everything will be dried out. So once you've got your dried out flowers, now we want to glitterify everything. So we want it to have a nice, beautiful sparkle inside of our jar. So since we're using spray glue, I've got quite a bit of saran wrap kind of just laid out right here. And hopefully that will help prevent the roses from sticking to the surface. That way we can easily transfer them into the jar once it's dry. So I've got saran wrap laid out right here. You want to use plenty of this because if you get spray glue on any surface, it's not coming off without a fight. So if you get this accidentally on your desk or something, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So just be careful with the spray glue. Now we're gonna lay out all our flowers in lavender and cover them in the glitter that we want to. So I'm going to separate it by color. Okay, so once we lay the spray glue down, we gotta kind of work quickly. So have your plan in place for what you're gonna do. I think I'm gonna attack one color at a time, that way I don't feel super, super rushed. We can move the rest of our materials to the side here, because we don't wanna cover this in glitter, and pick out which colors we're using. Use the colors, the natural colors of the flower, and follow that to glitter it. So the purple is going to use purple glitter, the white, white, the red, red, or pink. But again, you can do anything you'd like. So since we're using spray glue, I've already separated what we're doing here. I'm gonna put my extra to the side. And I have laid down a nice big piece of saran wrap. Because when you're using spray glue, this stuff kind of goes everywhere. And you wanna be careful, because if you get spray glue on your table or any surface you didn't mean to get it on, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. It's not gonna come off, or not without a fight at least. So I've got plenty of saran wrap down. I've got my spray glue right here. Like I said, I'm gonna use the extra strength, and I've got my flowers separated by color. So I've got the red or the pink here, a different type of rose, white, green from the lavender stem, and then the purple flowers. So again, hydrangea, Rose of Sharon buds, and lavender, English and Spanish. So because the spray glue kind of dries quickly, I'm gonna tackle one at a time. So I'm going to start with the purple, grab my spray glue, give it a good shake, get my glitter ready. I've got two different types of glitter, or two different colors. I've got a darker purple and a lavender. I think I'm gonna use the lavender on the lavender, the darker purple on everything else. So let's get our glitter open and ready. We're gonna gently spray our flowers and hit them with that glitter. How pretty does that look already, you guys? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So the spray glue is not dry yet, so we're not gonna touch those. We're gonna let those dry just as they are. Don't try to fuss with them, move them around, just let it dry. We'll pick them off when they're ready to go. So next thing I'm gonna move to is the actual green stems. Again, you can pick any colors, any flowers you wanna use. Anything you think is gonna look pretty, use it. So I think I'm gonna add a white sparkle onto this green to just give it a little bit of pop of color. And I've got a few different types of glitter here. I think I'm gonna use these two. So this one has a little bit of a different shape, give it some dimension, and then some normal, very fine glitter. So I'm gonna open these up, get them ready. Quick spray. And hit them with the glitter. Cool. All right, same thing. Not gonna touch those, gonna let them dry right there. Because once you start picking pieces up, trying to fuss with them, you're just gonna start making a mess. You're gonna get sticky hands, glitter everywhere. Just let them sit. We'll worry about flipping them over after if we need to. So now I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing with everything else. I'm gonna go through and spray them color by color and cover them with glitter. And remember, when you're working with glitter, once we pick this stuff up, not all that glitter is gonna stick. So make sure you cover it nice and heavy. Be very heavy-handed with the glitter, because you're seeing a whole lot more glitter here than what's gonna be in your final product. So I'm being very generous with the glitter. All right, I think that is enough glitter for our potpourri. So Like I said, don't touch it now. Don't fuss with it. Don't try to work with it right away. We're gonna let this sit here for 20 minutes. Then we're gonna come back, check it, make sure it's dry. Then we can pick it up. Okay, so our spray glue is dry. I've fluffed up these loose petals over here to just kind of flip them over. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. If you already feel like this is enough glitter or you want to leave some of that natural flower showing, you don't have to flip it over and add more. Like with this lavender piece, it looks almost prettier with one side natural, one side glitter. Or same thing with the sage. Looks pretty with one side natural, one side glitter. But because I also have pieces that aren't covered in any glitter, I'm going to cover both sides. So flip everything over now that it's dry, and we're gonna do the same thing again. Beautiful. This is looking so sparkly, so pretty, you guys. Like I said, I've got some extra to the side here, so I am going to add in some of the plain flowers and petals as well. But meantime, we've got to let this fully dry now. So we're gonna give this a good 20 minutes again to fully dry. Then we can come back and start actually putting together our potpourri and adding some scent. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes. It's been about 25 minutes. Everything is pretty much dry. So now we're gonna have to transfer everything onto our paper towel. That way we can add the essential oils and start blending everything together. All right, now I'm gonna really start to blend all of this stuff together. That way we don't have chunks of one thing or the other. Everything is gonna be nice and blended. So again, I'm using rose essential oils, lavender essential oils, and natural sage, and that's it. That's gonna smell fantastic. So I'm spreading it out here. That way I can evenly distribute the essential oils. So whatever you decide to use to scent it, essential oils or not, this is when you're gonna add it. So I'm going to start with my lavender, and I'm only adding a few drops. I'm gonna add my rose, and I'm going to add the rest of the sage. All right, now that just with your hands, you want to mix and blend everything up. That smells so good. And if you find after you let this sit for a week or two that it's not as strong scented as you like, you can always add more essential oil. And you can always add more to freshen it up when it starts to lose its scent. So it's all on preference. However much you want to add, you can add. Just do one drop at a time because you can't take any out if it's too strong. All right, now I'm going to open up my gems, my little acrylic gems here. I'm gonna grab some scissors for my little beads here. I'm just gonna cut quite a few off, single beads. Okay, so because these metal beads and these acrylic gems are really heavy, they're gonna just sink to the bottom, so I'm not gonna add the rest of them in until I've got my potpourri in the jar. And then I can kind of give it a good shake if need be. So now that we've added everything in that we can, now we're gonna transfer it to the jar. So like I said, the longer you let this sit in the jar, the better it's gonna smell. Again, you can always add more essential oils whenever you want to give it a fresh scent. With that being said, if you're adding essential oils and you wanna add in the Twinkle Lights, you absolutely need to wait until it's completely dry. So if you're wanting to add Twinkle Lights, you need to make sure that none of this is damp with essential oils, because anything electric next to water is not gonna work unless it's waterproof or meant for outside. But you get my point. So the next step is adding all this into the jar. You're gonna let it sit for 2 weeks, then you can add your Twinkle Lights. So later in this video, I'll show you what the final product looks like with the Twinkle Lights, but for right now, let's get everything into our jar. This already smells so fantastic and it looks beautiful. So add anything else you want to. I think I'm gonna add a couple more drops of rose and we're gonna seal it up and let it sit for as long as we can wait. Like I said, you can add fresh essential oil whenever you want, but for the sake of letting it dry and adding Twinkle Lights, we're gonna close it up and bring it back out in a couple weeks. So meantime, let's clean all this up. So I think now that it's done, probably some type of fall ribbon would look the prettiest. So let's see what this looks like. Again, it might even be too thick still. I might have to go downstairs and look to see if I've got anything else a little bit thinner. Probably hot glue a few of these to the top. Just in a little small bunch like this or something. And that'll add a little something extra. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go get a hot glue gun and add those onto the top. That'll look pretty. Okay, so I've got my hot glue gun, but I also found an even thinner, prettier ribbon. I think this will match even better. And this one's got wire built into it, so it'll make a nice bow. Okay, now while our hot glue gun is heating up right here, let's figure out how we want to tie this ribbon. I can't believe how pretty this came out. Look at this, you guys. I'll have to get a flash to really show you that sparkle. And again, you'll see it with the Twinkle Lights here in a minute, but already it looks so pretty. And plus, if you've picked all these flowers from your garden, when people ask where you got this or what smells so good, it's even cooler being able to say, those are all flowers from my garden or my yard. All right, so I'm giving myself plenty of slack here. Again, I'm gonna cut the end of the ribbon at an angle. And we're gonna tie a nice bow right around the top. You don't wanna cover the lid or anything, that way you can still open it. And I don't know why, maybe it's just because I'm older now, I get so much more proud of things like this, like these homegrown roses is something I really, really am proud of. So this entire jar of all homegrown roses, except for my best friend's contribution of the coin things and the Rose of Sharon for color, I grew all that. I grew this with my own 2 hands. It's really cool. All right, so let's glue these diamonds to the top. And we're just about done. And that is it. Okay, so our homemade potpourri and potpourri jar. Look at how pretty, you guys. That nice, beautiful sparkle in there. Our cute little diamond top, our bow. This is adorable. And again, I don't know why I get so proud of stuff like this. I sound like a weirdo probably. But if you don't have a ribbon that has wire, don't forget, just hot glue those down and they'll stay curled for you. But this is our finished potpourri. Now, you can let this sit for 1 week, 1 day. You can always refresh it with essential oils, but the longer you let this sit the first time, the more it is going to naturally hold on to that scent the first time without having to add any extra. So if you want it just for looks, who cares? You can add essential oils whenever you want to, but here is our finished potpourri. It looks so pretty. Let me turn the camera around so you guys can get a good look at it. Look at that. Like, if this doesn't make you so excited for fall, I don't know what will. Which, speaking of, if you guys are interested in my insane Halloween and fall decor collection, let me know in the comments down below. I was thinking of doing a video of showing you guys all of my Halloween decorations, which, I'll be honest, it's overwhelming. It takes me quite a few days to put it all out. Just working on that. But let me know in the comments down below if that's something you guys are into. But I think that's it for today's video. Here's our finished potpourri. Again, I'll show you in a second what it looks like with the twinkle lights once we get to nighttime. But this is what it looks like without the twinkle lights. Again, if you are going to wait to put the twinkle lights in, you've got to wait a couple weeks. Make sure everything is completely dry before you add any electrical anything to it. And on top of that, don't ever leave that unattended. Dried flowers with twinkle lights, you've got to be careful. Keep the battery pack outside of it, put it underneath, hide it somewhere. Don't ever leave it unattended. Don't leave it on overnight. But I'll show you what it looks like here in a minute. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to link everything I can that I use in today's video down below. If you want to check out my stained glass work and my stained glass business, that will be linked down below too. And if not, I'll see you next time. Bye.